person who wrote to me said that they worked on the set of It Ends With Us, okay? And that the villain in this entire story is not Blake Lively, it's not Justin Baldoni, but it is Ryan Reynolds.
The flawless image is falling apart. For years, Blake Lively has been seen as America's sweetheart, the symbol of charm, skill, and effortless elegance. From her rise to fame in Gossip Girl to her seemingly perfect marriage with Ryan Reynolds, she built a reputation so polished it felt unshakable, until now. As headlines reveal her jaw-dropping courtroom admission, a darker narrative is surfacing from behind the scenes of It Ends With Us, one filled with strategic manipulation, power moves, and what appears to be a carefully engineered takedown campaign targeting reputations. Let's pull back the veil on the real story fueling this escalating Hollywood scandal. Trouble in the marriage is also surfacing. Sources close to Ryan Reynolds say the Deadpool actor is nearing his limit, overwhelmed by his wife's spiraling public relations disaster. Known for his sarcastic wit and relatable personality, Ryan has been quietly creating space between himself and Blake's chaos, choosing to focus more on individual projects and quality time with their children, according to insiders. Keeping his distance from the whirlwind of controversy she stirred up.
His legal team saying the experiences of Ms. Lively and others were documented at the time they occurred starting in May of 2020.
4 years, they were the definition of couple goals, the witty exchanges, the perfectly planned appearances, the unwavering public support. But behind the scenes, the reality appears much different. Insiders say Ryan Reynolds is seriously considering his next move after watching his wife's reputation unravel in real time. His personal brand, built on sincerity and being down-to-earth, now sharply contrasts the calculated and strategic persona Blake's latest behavior seems to reflect. It all began in December 2024 when the New York Times released a bombshell piece titled, "We Can Bury Anyone Inside a Hollywood Smear Machine," a hard-hitting exposé portraying Blake as the target of a dark Hollywood plot allegedly orchestrated by her co-star Justin Baldoni. The report alleged on-set misconduct and described a focused character assassination campaign aimed at Blake. It was emotional, gripping, and eerily consistent with the pristine victim-turned-hero image she spent years crafting.
Going on to write, Mr. Baldoni acknowledged the complaints in writing at the time.
For months, Blake insisted she never directly spoke to the New York Times, claiming they came to their conclusions on their own. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni's reputation was crumbling, branded as controlling, predatory, and toxic, all based on accusations that gained weight from that very article. But then came the courtroom shock that flipped everything, the confession that unraveled it all. Under oath, with every eye on her, Blake's polished image cracked like delicate glass. "Actually, I did give them an interview," she admitted. Just 5 words that destroyed months of repeated denials. The courtroom went silent, the kind of heavy, stunned silence that follows when someone unintentionally exposes how the illusion works. This wasn't some minor misstep. It was the same actress who had continually rejected any link to the article that wrecked her co-star's name, now openly admitting the truth. And as for the set of It Ends With Us, while Blake maintained a composed and radiant image in public, behind the scenes, crew members described a completely different environment. One far removed from the graceful persona she projected.
And I think that the Justin and Blake stuff is, I think it's a big PR.
The set wasn't just a film location. It was a war zone where egos collided and hidden tensions simmered, according to one production assistant who witnessed the off-camera drama firsthand. Several crew members have since come forward, describing the environment as stressful and dominated by unease. One particular moment has become the centerpiece of this unraveling controversy. A childbirth scene in which Blake alleged she experienced invasive and degrading treatment. However, Adam Manchin, the actor who portrayed her on-screen OB/GYN, recalls things very differently. "My experience working with her was nothing like the version she presented in her lawsuit," he stated, adding that he was genuinely shocked by her portrayal of the incident.
And I think that we're all the pawns of it. And also that story I gave you, that's one where I've talked to them. I feel comfortable sharing that.
Blake's lawsuit alleged that Justin Baldoni intentionally cast one of his real-life actor friends in a sensitive role, placing the actor's face and hands uncomfortably close to her nearly unclothed body during an intimate scene. However, Adam Manchin disputes that characterization, arguing that Blake's claims don't reflect the actual events on set, casting doubt on the credibility of her other accusations as well. Perhaps the most incriminating moment came from Blake herself during a Forbes Women's Summit interview, where she openly discussed her mindset on film sets. "I would show up knowing they just wanted me to look cute and stand on a little pink sticker," she said, but admitted that wasn't enough for her. She revealed a calculated strategy, explaining how she would withhold her true creative ambitions in early meetings. "I wouldn't reveal that I actually need to have authorship in order to feel fulfilled." She acknowledged that, for some, this later came across as deceptive, saying it might have felt like a rug pull to directors and producers who hadn't hired her for that level of involvement.
Because she wasn't doing well on the promo tour for the movie. It was very tone deaf. Her hair care line wasn't doing well. She was trying to sell booze while talking about domestic violence.
This unguarded admission exposes a recurring pattern. Blake strategically hiding her true motives to assert control, precisely the behavior Baldoni's legal team claims unfolded during the production of It Ends With Us. But her courtroom confession wasn't some brave moment of honesty. According to industry insiders, it was a raw display of panic. This coming Monday, June 23, Brian Friedman, the high-profile attorney representing Baldoni, is expected to file an updated complaint that sources say will be exhaustive. Emails, messages, and timelines have reportedly been compiled to reveal a narrative starkly different from the version Blake has promoted. Those familiar with the legal filing claim it will directly tie both Blake and Ryan Reynolds to a months-long coordinated effort with the New York Times to discredit Baldoni. Blake's sudden admission now looks suspiciously timed, dropping just days before this legal grenade is set to explode. It's as if she saw the tidal wave coming and confessed to dipping her toes in before the full force could wipe her out. Pouring even more gasoline on this already blazing scandal is the upcoming documentary It Ends With Justice, a project that could flip the entire story on its head.
Justin says the war between himself and Blake really started in May 2023 when they started shooting the movie. He claims that she was organizing a takeover strategy.
An upcoming documentary is set to reveal the complete truth behind the It Ends With Us production, with the filmmakers claiming to have secured powerful testimony from crew members who witnessed the reality behind the scenes. Individuals who had previously stayed silent out of fear for their careers. These aren't anonymous whispers or baseless gossip. As the documentary's creator puts it, these are first-hand accounts from people who were on set every day, watching the real power struggles unfold when the cameras weren't rolling. Speaking out against industry heavyweights like Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds isn't without consequence. Crew members are putting future opportunities and even their entire careers at risk. Still, several have chosen to come forward, believing the truth is worth that sacrifice. The film also scrutinizes the timeline surrounding Blake's smear campaign allegations, noting a glaring inconsistency. Damaging stories targeting Baldoni began circulating in August 2024. 9 days before Melissa Nathan, his crisis PR strategist, was even brought on board. This mismatch raises serious doubts about Blake's narrative and raises the possibility that she, not Baldoni, was the one orchestrating a targeted media assault.
Defend Justin Baldoni in this lawsuit with Blake Lively because I think she's horrible and she's made up this whole thing because she tried to steal his money.
Industry insiders point out that Blake's lawsuit was heavily centered on accusations that Justin Baldoni harmed her reputation, yet it offered surprisingly few specifics about the alleged misconduct that supposedly triggered the dispute. It's like suing someone for burning down your house but only complaining they tracked mud on the carpet, one legal analyst remarked. This scandal isn't just about Blake Lively, it's peeled back the layers on celebrity PR maneuvers that usually operate far from the public eye. "What we're seeing is unheard of," said a veteran entertainment journalist. Normally, these narratives are crafted and controlled in private, but Blake's approach was so forceful it burst into the open. The digital era has completely altered how these stories unfold. When Blake allegedly launched her campaign against Baldoni, she likely didn't expect how quickly the truth would spread. Social media, especially communities like Book Talk, where Colleen Hoover's fans gather, became unexpected arenas for accountability, with readers demanding honesty. Blake's public image, once untouchable, is now plummeting. She built her brand on being relatable, the golden hair, iconic fashion, picture-perfect marriage, and down-to-earth appeal. But even with all that outward beauty, the cracks in her image are now too visible to ignore.
But he is the most overly feminized man I've had to endure in
4 years, Blake Lively's meticulously curated image shielded her from backlash, but that protection has now vanished like mist at sunrise. Her credibility is in ruins, unraveled by her own conflicting narratives. The same woman who branded herself as a feminist icon and voice for truth now faces allegations of masterminding a calculated smear campaign. Projects that once lined up for her involvement are reportedly pulling back, and brand deals are quietly being reconsidered. Blake Lively had everything: celebrity status, wealth, a dream family, and adoring fans. But now she risks losing it all because she couldn't resist playing both the helpless victim and the manipulative puppet master. As Ryan Reynolds is rumored to be evaluating his own exit plan and Brian Friedman readies his explosive legal filing for Monday, Blake finds herself in unfamiliar territory, a space where charisma won't save her and influence holds no sway. The entire industry is paying attention, because this situation has grown beyond just one actress or one film set. It's become a broader conversation about the inner workings of Hollywood and whether long-standing power dynamics can finally be challenged by the truth. Blake hoped to be remembered as the fierce, truth-speaking heroine of her story, but she may instead become a legendary cautionary tale, an example of what happens when someone starts believing the myths they built around themselves. The truth is stepping out of the shadows now, and for Blake Lively, this may be the final act in her once-enchanted Hollywood narrative. Stay tuned with Riveted as this unraveling saga reaches its most dramatic chapter yet, with Monday's legal filing expected to rock the industry to its core.